Okay. Hello. Hi. It's been a minute since we've had a conversation, I suppose. I have not been uploading vlogs for a minute, and my social presence has been kind of sparse, I realize. For a while, it's been kind of sparse, and just kind of wanted to update you guys on life and where I've been at, I suppose, in a lot of different aspects, just like mentally and I suppose not like physically or anything. That's kind of weird, but you know what I mean, like just in an all around aspect, kind of let you guys know where I've been. And maybe if this goes well, maybe I'll just keep doing stuff like this rather than what I was doing before. But I suppose what I mainly wanted to get into was sort of I guess today specifically was like that maybe there's been like a shift in my social I guess the way that I'm perceived, or the way that people perceive me as a person, or I don't know. maybe that's too pretentious to say. I'm not sure. There's definitely been a change in terms of the way that I go about handling social media. And that has been mainly due to the fact that, like, so to put this into perspective, I've been doing, I say this so much, but I've been doing music for like 15 years, you know, and when I finally started to get some traction and when I decided to start doing the whole TikTok thing, that was kind of like my Hail Mary. And so I feel like, in a way, when I started doing the TikTok covers and all of that stuff, and I talk about this stuff all the time, it's so exhaustingly annoying, I'm sure, but like when I started doing that stuff, this is something that I feel like I've never really talked about necessarily, so I figured I'd talk about this in an unedited sort of way, and hopefully it's somewhat enjoyable. But when I started doing the TikTok thing, and social media in general, I suppose, when I really started ramping that up, I saw what was working in terms of the way that people presented themselves on social media, and I kind of followed suit because, like I said, it was like a Hail Mary, you know. I was at the point where I had already quit music 3 times. I'd quit music for a year prior to starting up again, and this was like my final hurrah, like my last, you know, I'll try this and see what happens, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So it was kind of like you know, whatever, screw it, I'll do whatever it takes to like get people's attention, and it worked. You know, I started doing the covers, I started, you know, pouring fucking coffee in a cup and singing songs, and, you know, started doing covers and all of that stuff, and slowly but surely I started to gain attention. I mean, it was really pretty instant, the first couple covers that I posted on TikTok, where that really blew up, but I'm sick right now, if it's not obvious by my voice. And so I followed what was working, you know, and what was working was sort of this like caricature of me that wasn't really how I wanted to be seen or wanted to present myself. It just was what worked, you know. It was this outgoing character, and, you know, this character that was very, I suppose the best way to put it would maybe be like flamboyant and excited and outgoing, and I think I already said outgoing, but you get the idea, you know. It was a version of myself that, like, I for sure can be sometimes, but it wasn't completely true, you know. The way that I am actually is kind of like this, you know, just very serious, very normal. If that's even, I don't know if that's the right way to put it. Maybe I'm not normal, but I am a very serious person. I'm not really that funny of a person, or really even that interesting of a person, or excitable, if that's the right word, maybe. So I was presenting this version of myself that felt a lot different than the version of myself that I actually feel that I am around my family and around my friends. And when you're doing that, when you're playing this character online, you start to question if like that's really who you are, or if the person who you are around your family and friends and loved ones is like a different version of you that isn't you, and you're actually the version of yourself online. And that kind of gets into like a little bit of a philosophical conversation about like what makes us who we are as people, which is something that I struggle with a lot, because I frankly I couldn't tell you what makes me who I am. I just know in the moment who I am, and there's a lot of different aspects of me that are me, and then there's a lot of different aspects of me that aren't me. And I can present in ways that aren't me sometimes, and I can present in ways that are me sometimes. But are all of those presentations of myself? I don't know. But you can see how like it can slowly start to spiral you into this thought of like, who really am I suppose. And when people on social media think that they have you figured out as a person, and all of the people that are working with you, whether it comes to like labels or managers or whatever, think that they know who you are as a person because they see who you are on social media, and it doesn't feel like the person that you are on the inside, because you never really can explain or portray the person that you are actually. It can start to have this like cognitive dissonance effect on your mindset, or at least it did for me. And it felt very frustrating to be presenting myself as someone that I didn't even know who I was, I suppose. And not even to mention that, like, I mean, we've all had this conversation before if you've watched some of the videos on the channel, but I don't even like doing covers or anything like that. Like, all I've ever wanted was to do my own music. Like, I don't care if I have like a third or even a smaller percentage of people paying attention to me as they were when they were listening to the covers. I just want people to listen to my music and to the ideas that I have to bring to the world, because that's really, at the end of the day, like, that is what art is about to me. I don't necessarily care too much about like having a lot of attention. I just want to have some sort of a place to put my music and for people to enjoy it and to get something from it, because in my opinion it's like kind of dumb to just be putting the same, like, to be recycling the same stuff in the world, and not bringing any new ideas into the world. And I suppose there's no such thing as like new ideas or whatever, but what I'm talking about is like, just regurgitating other people's stuff is like not the way that personally I find happiness or whatever in my art. Happiness, who knows if that really even exists, especially in the world of art. But if we're talking about what brings me personal, like, I don't even know what the word is, fulfillment, I suppose, which is not even really fulfillment, because fulfillment doesn't really exist either. But if we're talking strictly terms of like what brings me satisfaction in some sort of way, it's like, it's putting my words and my art and my production and my music into the world, because that's all I want to do. That's it. So I guess to circle this back around, I know this has been kind of a long-winded conversation, but yeah, I suppose I stopped doing a lot of the social media stuff because I continuously was just feeling sorry, continuously just feeling misunderstood and mislabeled and put into a box that I didn't want to be put in. Yeah, I was, and I still am kind of put into this box of things that I don't want to be put into, I suppose. There's a lot of artists that I feel like I get boxed in with, and there's a lot of labels that I get boxed in with, and there's a lot of, there's a lot of things that I don't want to necessarily be related to, that I feel like I still am kind of like trying to escape the box of, in some ways I feel like I'll always be known as like the corny TikTok singer, garage boy, and I don't want that, you know what I mean? Like yeah. And the thing is also that I genuinely have no idea what I want or where I'm going. I just know what I don't want, and it's like that. I don't want that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a TikTok cover garage boy singer. But maybe that's pretentious to say. Maybe that is all I am. Who knows? But yeah, I just been I suppose taking it easy on social media. So that's one reason why I've been taking it easy. Another reason is because like I want to just like have the space to like be an artist, and I feel like I'm rambling now. So all of this is usually what I would end up chopping out of the video, but I'm not going to chop it because I'm trying to be a little less caring about this kind of stuff and just kind of have a real conversation with you, because I'm not I'm not that great of a talker, so sometimes I just kind of start rambling on, and I'm doing exactly that right now. So anyways, I'll bye.